Good morning, students. So today we will be dealing with the string efficiency of a suspension insulator. Select insulation type string. So we know that when the voltage is greater than 33 kilowatt, we use a pins insulator. More than up to 33 kilowatt only we can use pin insulator, and if it is more than 33 kilowatt, we go for the suspension type insulator. So the peculiarity is like if it's a suspension type insulator, then the insulators are suspended from the tower. And so it will be like this will be the figure. So the voltage approach, each disk will be V1, V2 and V3, and this will be the total voltage. So here we are considering a suspension type insulator with 3 disks, and we know that the voltage impressed across a string of insulator will be the potential. So what is V1, V2 and V3? I am explaining to you. So it will be the potential difference between the conductor voltage and the ground. So this is the ground for you. So that is the total voltage impressed across the string of the insulator. So if it is a star connection, you know that V phase will be equal to VL by root 3, and for a delta connection, V phase will be equal to V line voltage. Okay. So here we have 3 disks, and the capacitance of each disk will be equal to C. We consider it as C, and the voltage will be equally divided. It will be V by 3, V by 3 and V by 3. So these capacitance is what we call as mutual capacitance or self-capacitance. So remember that here we have 2 types of capacitance. One is the mutual capacitance and other is the shunt capacitance. So mutual capacitance is also called the self-capacitance. Why it is called? Because since the capacitance is same, the total voltage will be equally divided. So since the capacitance is C everywhere, the total voltage will be equally divided as V by 3, V by 3 and V by 3. Okay. So this is actually the practical figure of a tower that we see outside, no? So here there will be the insulators, and here we will have one more capacitance that is attached to the. So this is from the practical figure. We reduce this figure like we have the capacitance C. This capacitance C is the mutual capacitance or the self capacitance, and along with that we have the shunt capacitance also. So we have C, which is the self capacitance or mutual capacitance, and C1 is there, which is the shunt capacitance. So because of the shunt capacitance, the current passing through each insulator is not same. That's why we have different currents. We have I1, I2 and I3. So why we have different current? Because of the presence of shunt capacitance. Shunt capacitance is denoted by C1 and mutual capacitance is denoted by C. And you should remember this figure. So how we are getting this figure? This figure is from a practical tower we have in our fields, and outside we have the practical tower. So when you're going outside, just check for it. You can find that there will be a disk type insulator and this connection will be there. So in that, this is the self or mutual capacitance and this is the shunt capacitance. Okay, I hope that much is clear for you. So here we can write. So we know that from Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. So similarly, we write here V3 is equal to I3 into XC. XC is the impedance due to the capacitance. So V3 will be I3 into XC, and similarly V2 will be I2 into XC, and V1 is equal to I1 into XC. So this is very important. Okay, and here also we can see that here I3 is greater than, here I3 is greater than I2 and I2 is greater than I1. Why? Because of the presence of shunt capacitance. Because small current I2 is going, because we have the small current I1, I2 and I3 going to the shunt side. Okay. So here I3 is greater than I2 is greater than I1. So similarly V3 will be greater than V2 will be greater than V1. Okay. So now you have to take some key points. So the voltage impressed on a string of suspension insulators does not distribute itself uniformly across the individual disks. Why? Due to the presence of shunt capacitance. Okay, I already told you. The disk nearest to the conductor has maximum voltage across it. As we move towards the cross arm, the voltage across each disk goes on decreasing. Okay, that also is clear for you because it depends upon the value of the current. The unit nearest to the conductor is under maximum electrical stress and is likely to be punctured. That means the insulation can get destroyed. Therefore, means must be provided to equalize the potential across each unit. Okay. So one such method. So what we to get highest efficiency, the potential across each disk should be same. To get that, one method is to design the value of insulator in such a way that it can withstand the highest value of voltage. And so we are doing something, and like we are designing the value of insulator in such a way that it can withstand the highest value of the voltage, and the extent to which each disk is utilized is given by the string efficiency. So string efficiency is how we calculate as voltage across a string divided by N into voltage across the disk nearest to the conductor. So we have the setup here. So here I3 will be greater than I2 will be greater than I1. So similarly, the voltage will vary. All this happens because of the presence of the shunt capacitance. Okay, you agree with me? So these are the three inferences that we get from what we have studied so far. And now finally we reach the term string efficiency. So voltage across the complete string divided by N into voltage across the disk nearest to the conductor. So N is the number of disks in the string. So greater the string efficiency, more uniform is the voltage distribution. So let us consider C1 is equal to K into C. So K is actually the efficiency factor that come here. So C1 you know, which is the shunt capacitance, is equal to K times into C, which is the mutual capacitance or the self capacitance. I already explained. So starting from the cross arm or the turbo, the voltage across each unit is V1, V2 and V3. So voltage across the first unit will be V1, V2 and we are starting from the cross arm. Okay. Then we will apply KCL at node A. So applying KCL at node A, I2 will be equal to small I1 plus capital I1. So substituting, we write it as V2 into omega C is equal to V1 into omega C plus V1 into omega into K into C. So current we are writing as V2 into omega C based on this equation, right? You already know that, right? Okay. So the explanation will be I2 is equal to I1 plus capital I1 plus small I1. So V2 into omega C will cancel and V2 will be equal to V1 into 1 plus K. That is equation 1. Then KCL at node 2, I3 is equal to capital I2 plus small I2. That is V3 into omega C plus V2 into omega C plus, now is the important thing you should know. I2 is passing through here. So the voltage at I2 will be V1 plus V2. So the voltage across this capacitance C1, it will be V1 plus V2 at node B. So V1 plus V2 into omega C1 and C1 is equal to K into C. We have considered it like that. So substituting we get V3 is equal to V2 plus V1 plus V2 into K is equal to K V1 plus V2 into 1 plus K. So substituting and rearranging and taking the value of V2 from the first equation, this equation, we get it at as V3 is equal to V1 into K plus 1 plus K square. So this A plus B the whole square expansion we take. So we get it like V1 into 1 plus 3K plus K square. So that is our equation 2. So, but there is no need of considering small I3 because it is not related to any voltage across any string. So there is no need of considering I3 and making an equation. We just need to go for I1 and I2 and node A and node B. That's it. So V3 will be equal to, V3 we already calculated. So the total voltage across the string V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So V1 plus, so we have substitute the value of V2 in terms of V1. So remember why we did it, we brought all the voltages in terms of V1 so that we can substitute. So V is equal to V1 into 3 plus 4K plus K square. So V is equal to V1 into 1 plus K into 3 plus K. That is equation 3. This is taking common and rearranging. That's it. So finally, we can write V1 by 1 is equal to V2 by 1 plus K. How V2 by 1 plus K? From here, V2 by 1 plus K is equal to V1, right? Similarly, V3 by 1 plus 3k plus k square. That's also equal to V1. Yes. And V by 1 plus k into 3 plus k. That's also equal to V1. So all the expressions of V1 we equate. So the mathematical problems that we do will be all based on this equation. So this is very important. Okay. Okay. So the voltage across the top point, that is V1, which is the top point, that is V1. You can see V1 from the figure. So V1 is equal to V by 1 plus k into 3 plus k. Just cross multiplying here. V1 is equal to V by 1 plus k into 3 plus k. V2 will be equal to 1 plus k. It will come here. 1 plus k into V2 is equal to V1 into 1 plus k. And V3 will be equal to V1 into 1 plus 3k plus k square. Just cross multiplying. Just understand how we got this equation. How we reached this relationship is enough. Rest you can write from the previous equation, right? No need of by hearting. So string efficiency. So finally, we are going to calculate the mathematical expression for string efficiency. This also you should not by heart. You should understand. You should just have this figure in your mind. Okay. So voltage across a string divided by n into voltage across a string nearest to the conductor. Right. So it will be voltage across string is V. I have already told you it's V, and the number of conductors is 3. The figure that we have V1, V2 and V3, we had n. So it is 3 into V3. V3 is the voltage across the string nearest to the conductor. So this is the figure, and this is V3 nearest to the conductor. This is 3 strings, so n is equal to 3. And finally we have it like, we substitute the value of V3. V3 is how much? V into 1 plus 3k plus k square by 1 plus k into 3 plus k, right? From here, V3 is equal to V into 1 plus 3k plus k square by 1 plus k into 3 plus k. So finally rearranging, we get the expression for string efficiency like this. So this is 3 because we took 3, or this is actually n, okay? So we can take some key points like, so consider one condition. If k is equal to 0.2, then substituting we get V2 is equal to 1.2 V1 and V3 is equal to 1.64 V1. So we can see how the value of k is influencing the voltages. So we know that k is equal to C1 by C, because we took C1 is equal to Kc, because one is the mutual capacitance and one is the shunt capacitance. So we can say that if k increases, if the value of k increases, the overall efficiency will be decreasing. Okay, and the inequality in voltage distribution increases with the number of disks. So more the number of disks involved in the string, that the inequality in the voltage distribution will also increase. So what we need is a decreased value of k. So decreasing the value of k will increase the overall string efficiency of the suspension insulator. Okay. So I hope everything is clear for you. So how we arrived at this figure, then what is string efficiency, why we are using a suspension insulator, why not a pin insulator, because of the voltage difference. Then what is V1, V2 and V3, then these equations, everything, and how we finally derived and arrived at the string efficiency. Okay, thank you.